You know, they say when brothers fight, strangers inherit the house. This is an adage to explain when there's an internal conflict amongst any group of people that it tends to be those from the outside that can benefit the most. So we're going to be covering, it's been a few weeks now, but we're going to be covering a conflict that is breaking out in the Black finance space and the, personal finance space by Black creators. Most of you may be familiar with EYL, Earn Your Leisure, Wall Street Trapper, and Aristotle Investments, all prominent in their own right, have built very significant platforms that have generally been dubbed as some of the cream of the crop when it comes to Black personal finance and, Black creators in the finance space, etc. They've all broken out into a few that, to my knowledge, at the time of this recording, has continued on, and we need to talk about how it's going to impact you as the finance, as the consumer or as the audience, really like get an understanding of why this is actually negative and toxic, and put some perspective on this so we can hopefully move the needle in the right direction and minimizing these kind of things from happening. It's never going to be perfect, but to be honest, this is kind of frustrating and low-key kind of embarrassing to have break out in the way that it's happened. We have Black personal finance creators basically kind of feuding like rappers. So we're going to get into some of the context of that. Given the time of this recording, PNR Connected, my guy. Everybody coming into the live stream live, make sure y'all like. Let me know y'all in the building. Leave y'all support, super chat, super thanks. Support the channel, support the content. Everybody watching the replay, same thing. Leave your comments down below. I'm very responsive to them. And, leave your support, leave your likes, boost the video, leave y'all super thanks. So before we get into the weeds about the EYL, Wall Street Trapper, Aristotle Investments conflict, I do have to, this is being recorded on September 10th. So I have to touch on the Charlie Kirk situation. I also want to touch on the Charlotte stabbing scenario with the Ukrainian woman. We're not going to spend a lot of time on either one of those because they're not on topic. But I mean, this is like, getting to the point where it's very breaking news. And I know a lot of you as my pioneers, are seeing me as a consistent voice and staple, that you're taking the time out to watch. And I don't want to ignore all of these hot topics as they come along. So I'm going to speak on both of these scenarios really quickly before we dive into the real basis of this live stream. But, the Charlie Kirk situation broke out a few hours ago and it's wild. I saw the video of the shooting. I'm sure most people did. To be honest, it's kind of crazy to see we're at a stage in such a civilized society where this is kind of becoming low-key a norm between school shootings. And, now we have political rallies and stuff getting shot up, politicians getting shot, political activists. Charlie Kirk was an American right-wing political activist, author, and media personality, co-founded the conservative organization Turning Point USA. He also was the chief executive of Turning Point Action and a member of the Council of National Policy. So, essentially a political activist, entrepreneur, media personality, 31 years old to my knowledge, family, wife, couple kids. I believe they were at the rally when he got killed. And, to be honest, I'm well aware that I didn't follow Charlie Kirk very closely, but, I pay attention to politics. I pay attention to some of the prominent figures. I know Charlie Kirk was controversial when it comes to his viewpoints on ideology, politics, and even race. So I respect that. That having been said, I like to believe that, some level of the grandeur that we promote of being such a civilized society would allow us to just see another human being get picked apart in that scenario and literally in front of our eyes and apparently potentially in front of his family and kids. RIP to him. And regardless of the, differences in ideological views, potentially there could be there, political views, racial views, social views, regardless of those things, it's really an uneasy time to think that our circumstances are so toxic and so dire to the point where people can literally get their, throats cut in half by rifle rounds. And there's large swaths of the population cheering and supporting this, because if the shoe was on the other foot, it wouldn't feel too hot. If this was a Black political leader of any kind, or social activist of any kind, killed in this same fashion, and these things happen, right? We've seen police brutality, and we know that other sides of the spectrum were quick to rush in and try to support it. So I would like to believe some of us are just quality people. I am not a pacifist by any means, so I'm not trying to promote utopianism. There are times where violence is necessary. I'm going to say that publicly. But at the end of the day, ultimately, diplomacy and civility hopefully will take the reins. Them people are off the charts. Absolutely, PNR. It's kind of getting wild out here. So that's not on the Charlie Kirk situation. RIP to him. Condolences to his family. Wild scenario. Y'all leave your comments down below. Any thoughts y'all have around that scenario. We're going to move on to the next topic really quick before we get to the basis of the video, which is the Charlotte train stabbing of the Ukrainian refugee. RIP to her. From what I can tell from the video and what we have so far out there publicly, this was a completely innocent individual that was attacked heinously for no reason. So definitely leading off with an RIP to her. That's tragic and by no means should be condoned by any civilized, decent person on any end of the spectrum. That having been said, it is kind of frustrating to see these various scenarios get politicized and the ideological components where, you know, again, race gets drug into this. From what we can tell, the alleged suspect is very apparently a black man. And, you know, unfortunately, we're at a time right now where racial tensions are not in the best place. And the ideological views between different groups are not in the healthiest space either. So I just want to take a quick minute on the live stream since this is another fresh story. And send condolences to her. No condoning of what went down with this, regardless of race, ethnic background, whatever the case may be. That having been said, it's kind of tough to think that this will be used by certain groups to validate their viewpoint on certain groups of us as people, to validate us as, you know, heinous, you know, savages, etc. You know, it's kind of crazy. But y'all comment down below if you're watching the replay or the live stream. Let me know what you think about that topic as well. You know, wild scenario, wild media, wild news, you know, and tragic. RIP to Charlie Kirk, you know, and RIP to the young lady. I believe her name was Ariana Zaruska, excuse me, not Ukrainian, not Eastern European at all. So, you know, if I butchered her name, my apologies on that. But RIP on both scenarios, tragic situations. So let's get into the substance of the video, the live stream. We're covering the EYL Wall Street Trapper Aristotle investment conflict. And the reason we're covering this is not to cover this from an entertainment point of view per se. The honest coverage of this for me is going to be for the finance and financial point of view, me as a Black finance content creator, you as a viewer of, you know, content creation, overall Black personal space, in the Black finance personal space and the overall personal space for finance. This is really about the substance around how this kind of stuff is inevitable to happen, but tragic, and how we need to be viewing these things, how we need to be careful. And for some of us that are more prominent, like these three characters, these three entities that are prominent this far up in the food chain in our social rankings as Black America, why this is like really something we have to be mindful and do our best to try to handle in more respectable manners than how this is playing out so far. Yeah, RIP to her, but that's only 1% of, at least for that's one off. Yeah, it is. It's not common, PNR, and that's part of what I meant when I talked about, you know, going back to the Charlotte train stabbing with the Ukrainian young lady for a quick second. That's part of my problem with the situation. If you took the same scenario, and this is not to water down the tragedy of this experience, but if you took the same scenario and looked around the country, I'm sure there's some young Black girl that was minding her business that was assaulted, attacked, mauled, or potentially killed by somebody of another group. You can do the same thing with a Hispanic young lady and on down the line. We have bad things happening everywhere. And when you talk about the Ukraine scenario and tie it to the Ukraine scenario, that being where she's from, there's hundreds of thousands of people in Ukraine dying during to that war right now. And the people, the political groups and entities that have the power to influence that don't seem to be breaking their necks per se to get that to come to an end. And we're talking about at this point, probably millions of people killed and displaced out there in Ukraine. So for the political and social push this is getting, like to weaponize people's point of views and ideologies, is tragic, but it comes with the territory. Back to the topic at hand. So recent details surrounding the conflict between Aristotle Investments, Earn Your Leisure, and Wall Street Trapper center around alleged business rivalries, particularly a dispute over a bid for financial literacy building, which is I believe the black house that, was tied to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And I can't think of the dude's name, behind that just that quick. And I'm looking at his face, but I can't think of his name. If y'all know in the comment section down below, that was the one that put that whole black house together and had the real estate Tulsa fund thing going on. Y'all put that down below because I'm drawing a blank on him. But Aristotle Investments claims that EYL hosts led by Rashad have engaged in blackballing and targeting him after he won a building bid, a win that EYL and Wall Street Trapper also sought. So they all were looking for the building, apparently. This led to a public debate questioning EYL's practices and fostering animosity between parties involved. So apparently, Jay Morrison, thank y'all. I appreciate that, Brandon Man 90. I appreciate you coming in the building. Y'all leave y'all likes, y'all comments, y'all super chats, y'all leave support for the live stream. Good call, Brandon, man. I couldn't think of his name to save my life. But yeah, so basically, Jay Morrison's previous Tulsa, that went up in flames. That was I didn't even want to cover that one. That was crazy when that went down. But basically, that blew up. That building ended up going up for sale, distressed. And apparently, all of these gentlemen all converged on an opportunity to grab that building. And it led to a conflict where apparently, Aristotle Investments, which is the youngest out of the group, who ended up winning the bid, felt attacked and blackballed and ostracized by EYL in some kind of way or another. Wall Street Trapper was also involved in the bid and jumped in the mix. So yeah, so that's apparently what's going on and led to some animosity and some conflict. So the core of the conflict stems from a bid to acquire a building for financial literacy school, a venture EYL and Wall Street Trapper were also interested in. Aristotle Investment alleges that once he won the bid, EYL and his host, particularly Rashad, began to target and discredit him and his business. So they started to blackball and target him. And the conflict is spilled on the online platforms, so like X, Reddit, and questions about EYL's practices. Some users on these platforms question EYL's business practices. Some have been labeling them as potentially scammy, while others have offered defense of their actions. So y'all let me know first off, before I get into the weeds or why this is negative, what y'all think in the comment section really quickly. I'm going to take a second. You're watching the replay if you're watching this live. And again, make sure y'all leave y'all comments and y'all super chats. Make sure y'all leave y'all emojis and let me know. Yeah, so P&R Connected, he says they want it in. I'm guessing you are referring to EYL and Wall Street Trap or EYL in particular. Y'all let me know real quick in the comment section what y'all think about this conflict, because it's been out for a few weeks. I know that y'all may have some perception on it before we dive into why this is really a negative outlook really for the overall finance space for Black creators, and also how this is affecting you as us as the viewership in this scenario. What do y'all think down below? Let me know what y'all think about the EYL, Aristotle Investments, and Wall Street Trapper conflict. Let me know y'all thoughts real quick before I give y'all my perspective. I'm going to give y'all a second to pop up with y'all chats. I know it take a second to come in, so just to keep it from having too many dead spaces in the live stream. One of the first things that is tragic about this is the anywhere where there's a congregation of Black people, unfortunately, it has to be bugged with entertainment and oftentimes drama. And this isn't all the time everywhere, but it is a very common thing. And prior to this conflict, all three of these gentlemen, from what I remember experiencing, and I haven't followed either of the three of them like vehemently, right? But I have run across each of them content and supported certain capacities of them. And all of them have largely stayed clear of this kind of stuff up until this point in time. Ironically, you have somebody as controversial as Jay Morris's situation is blow up, that building go up for sale, and these gentlemen converge on it. And it exposes what seems to be some toxicity and really, if true, some really immature responses for some really wealthy, well-off, and successful individuals. Like, I'm sure commercial real estate goes up all the time. I know that oh man, I'm drawing a blank on him too. God damn it. What is this guy's name? I'm looking at his face. Uh, Dr. Umar Johnson. His building apparently is going up. If y'all let me know in the chat if I'm correct. He kind of weeded them out. You talking about Aristotle Investments getting that building PNR? So I know Dr. Umar's building, if I'm not mistaken, is getting foreclosed on, and there's, bids for that scenario. First off, the fact that you have these creators and these businessmen building these movements up, funneling in all this support, going out and creating these movements, buying these buildings and making these promises, and they falling on their face is wow. Can we start there? Like, Jay Morrison is supposed to have this extensive real estate background and went all the way up to the levels of creating a legitimized group investment fund all the way through the SEC, from my understanding, which I'm FINRA licensed, so I'm familiar with the SEC and the regulations and what it takes. It's a lot of legal framework. Dr. Umar Johnson then raised upper six figures to my knowledge, maybe more, around the school that he's been promising. Let's talk about the fact that these individuals are getting this far up in the food chain and turning around and falling apart with these group investment or social movements from the financial point of view. Like, it's kind of wild to think that these individuals are rising to the top of the personal finance space and the media space, with a partial or almost completely affiliated message around finance, business, etc. And they're getting to the point where they finally get their hands on all this capital, they get this success, they get this support, they build these networks, they're getting buildings, they're starting these funds and these movements, and then they just fall on their face. Somebody let me know what I'm missing and why the hell this trend is continuing on in this space. And let me know, how do y'all feel about, like, are we promoting and allowing the wrong people to get to the top of the food chain? Like, there's no way you're about to tell me that even that far up in the food chain that we can't manage real estate. Like, that's wild. Like, y'all are getting your hands on 6-7 figures, sometimes more. I mean, Jay Morris, I'm guessing, probably got 7 to 8 figures put piled together into this real estate fund, and you let it blow up. Like, that's wild. Yep, he got to see what they are really about. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it. Y'all let me know what y'all think as far as the Aristotle Investments in the EYL, which is wild because from my understanding, EYL, at least looking at the platform, is the more successful of the bunch. Like, they seem to be. It looks like Wall Street Trapper, Aristotle Investments are individually successful, but the EYL is the one that has created an actual platform. They're not just popular, successful finance creators. So it seems like they're the ones that are all collectively well off and have come together and created an entire platform. And they seem to be the ones with the bitter response to this situation. Is wild work. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm curious what y'all think about so many of these individuals getting to these points and falling apart when they get to these, what's supposed to be the pinnacle of their movement, where they pulled us together as support, sometimes even pulling our money into the pot, our attention, our time, we're supporting the brand. And then y'all blow up when y'all get there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down below. So to get into the weeds of the negative aspects of this real quick, I want to dive into this from a more substantive point of view as y'all comments come in. The ongoing conflict between financial influencers like EYL, Wall Street Trap, and Aristotle Investments are detrimental to their audience and their supporters for several key reasons. The disputes, which involve business rivalries and accusations of fraud, misleads followers, creates distrust, and distracts from the sound and long-term financial principles. Just stop for a second and think about that. Y'all leave y'all likes, y'all comments, y'all super chats, and supporting the video. I think that they are part of a program to go through much trying to get funds. Clarify that for me, P&R. I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So just think about that for a second. The dispute between these three media juggernauts in the personal finance space involves a business rivalry that leads to accusations of fraud, misleads followers, creates distrust, and distracts sound long-term financial principles. that in itself is enough to drop the mic and walk away, because they are literally leading and pooling support from a group of people predominantly that are already struggling, misguided, and have been kept in the dark and ostracized from healthy financial participation for centuries. Not years or decades, but centuries. We're in the first era or so where we actually have relative full-scale democratized access to the economy, to financial resources, to financial education. And the people that are rising to the top so far, many of them, building the biggest platforms and getting the most views and support, are getting into feuds and conflict that are discrediting their own platforms. Not only showing immaturity, but misleading followers, because now people are starting to pick sides, creating distrust and distracting from sound long-term financial principles. So the ways, the very fundamental practices that will help Black America start to function in healthy financial capacities, teaching sound financial principles that are sustainable, practical, and time-tested and proven. These feuds are exposing and creating a toxic environment where the very fundamental principles of these channels and these platforms come into existence, which is financial advancement for the viewership and the audience, is being torched or put in, like, basically gone up in flames. So it misleads and distracts the audience. What does that break down to? A focus on the drama and not the education. A focus on the drama and not the education. As I said a few minutes ago, somebody might not like me saying it, but the facts of the matter are that, generally speaking, too many of us in the Black community are drawn to the BS and bored by the actual substance and education. When EYL throws their financial invest fest every year, it damn near has to be a music concert in order to get people to come out and to stay, which is crazy. I have personally gone to and continue to go to conferences for financial education, money-related, finance-related, investment-related conferences. I've been to them around precious metals in the resource sector. I'm talking about groups of people way on the outskirts of our norm in mainstream society, and especially in Black America. I'm going to leave that at that. Y'all can read in between the lines. These are going to be very prominent, highly educated, on the fringes of society and success in business. And if you can think about the community around gold and silver investing, the resource sector, talking about investing in uranium and plutonium mines and all of this kind of stuff, right? I've been to these conferences around the country, in different parts of the country. I've been to in real estate conferences. I've been to these different events, and I still go to them. And when I'm not sitting here telling you by any means that these people are perfect or flawless and that there's never conflict amongst them, right? I'm not telling you that. But what I'm telling you is, when you go, it is as boring and straightforward educational information. There's no entertainers. There's no songs and dance. There's no dog and pony shows. These people are coming out talking about high-level economic statistics. They're talking about price to earnings ratios. They're talking about private investment opportunities. They're talking about the boring stuff. And they're talking about big money and big numbers in the process. Hold on for a second. A couple of y'all comments coming in. Here, moreover, are you talking about YouTube financial platforms? One of the things I've had to mentor people over the years is how to target out the mindset of generational poverty. Absolutely. And what we're talking about, yes, we're talking about EYL, Aristotle and Wall Street trappers, conflict or beef. So yes, YouTube finance platforms, Black creative platforms, and the toxic mindset, the toxic outcome of this conflict, and how it's really distracting away from the real substance of what they're supposed to be there for. And yes, generational poverty is around this toxic drama-based mindset for sure. P&R Connected says, you know how much paperwork and proof you have to get funds. They are employed by the system. It was too easy for them to get that far without help. Yeah, I mean, I can. That's an understandable perspective. I mean, I know for sure when you start talking about getting to the point where you like got SEC regulated, you done made it all the way through being certified and backed by the SEC. Any of these different regulators and regulations. Again, I have a firm investment license, which is under the SEC. Trust me when I tell you, I am nowhere near up in the food chain of like putting together what the Tulsa Real Estate Fund did, right? Not to water down where I am, but I literally have to report every damn thing. You understand? I have to report every damn thing. And I have to be accountable for so much stuff when I'm dealing with clients, when I'm talking about investments, dealing with investments, like my personal life, my outside business activity. So it is very heavily regulated for sure. It even starts with the basics. A bank account, so many people in poverty don't trust banks and use check cashing locations. Oh my God. Whoever you listen, I'm not familiar with you, but shout out to you because this entire channel is very much based on what you're talking about. A lot of my content is getting down into the weeds of all of us being drawn to these complex financial strategies and complex financial topics when a lot of us can't even maintain a damn bank account. So I talk about that constantly on this channel. You are right at home with that for sure. And I get into some more complex financial strategies. But yes, when we talk back about the substance of the matter, every single one of these platforms, EYL, Aristotle Investment, and Wall Street Trapper, honestly speaking, all give reasonably good content to some extent or another. But they all have high-level financial topics that they cover. And their audience, probably more than 50% of them, are in the bucket where they can barely manage a bank account or properly use a credit card. But they're talking about these complex trading strategies and these high-level stock picks and things, day trading. It's insane. So it misleads and distracts the audience, focuses on drama and not education. These public spats draw attention to personal disputes rather than genuine financial education. Rather than learning sound investment strategies, supporters become invested in the beef, which prioritizes entertainment and gossip over financial literacy, which is why I plan to do my very best on this channel for whatever size my audience continues to grow to, or my pioneers, to not get into that BS. Encourages emotional decisions. Conflict and drama in financial space can provoke emotional reactions in followers. This is particularly dangerous for investing, where rational and disciplined decisions are required. Financial gurus know that drama is more compelling than boring long-term strategies and may prioritize engagement over practical advice, which is why my channel probably isn't growing faster than it is. It's not because the content I put out on this channel is not A1 quality, and I am a financial professional by trade. It's not that the videos aren't good, whatever the case may be. My videos are true, legitimate, sound financial strategies, advice, guidance, and topics. This is the first live stream for the most part that I've ever covered around regular media, drama, and gossip and BS, and will be one of the few because I don't have time to get to you as my audience and the people who have become dedicated at following what I'm putting out to up-level and advance their personal and business finances, to be covering drama all day. So I'm not going to do that to y'all, but it is important to cover these things because I actually want to draw attention from it and catch those of you who are on taking the time out like tonight to stay on this live stream to get to the substance. We need to stay away from this type of stuff, and that's why I'm covering this live stream. All right. It even starts with the base. All right. They created a sales funnel. That's exactly, PNR. Exactly. And I talk about that at the end of my videos all the time around supporting this channel because I'm not running. I got almost 700 videos that are completely organic on this channel in 2.5 years, going on 3 years. Not one clickbait sales funnel anywhere in any of my videos. Whether they're good videos, terrible videos, whatever, I just showed up on a regular basis, stood in the paint, and put out quality advice and guidance without ever creating a sales funnel or a trap. I offer you to work with me one-on-one on a pay level if you want curated advice and guidance to actually expedite your growth financially. But other than that, it's a straightforward link. I tell you to comment or go down in the description down below. That's it. There's no sales funnel. There's no bait and hooks. There's no drama. There's no gaslighting. My titles, my thumbnails, none of it. Why? Because I only want to attract quality viewers like yourselves who are serious about their finances, have a healthy mindset, and are truly looking to up-level their finances, to up-level the finances of their households, and maybe even branch out and move the needle in their communities. I'm not here for the BS and the drama. So you are spot on, P&R Connected. What separates you from other YouTube financial folks is the idea that wealth is slow and steady and not overnight. Absolutely. 1000%. That is correct. And shout out for you for acknowledging that and putting that in the comment section. That is exactly one of the primary principles and functions and ideologies that makes this channel what it is. Because I refuse to get into the overnight clickbait sales funnel. I actually, if anything, my YouTube videos are the antithesis to that. I am the one that talks about how to avoid credit repair scams. I'm the one that talks about how to build financial strategies to access funding, access capital without having to do backdoor shiesty strategies that scam banks and put falsified information. That is the opposite of that is exactly why my videos are what they are, because they are true sound investment advice and financial guidance for educational purposes only, of course, that are coming from a true financial professional that does this legitimately every day in and day out. So absolutely shout out to you for acknowledging that, and that's facts. Cultivates misaligned incentives. As financial literacy becomes a business, the incentives of content creators can become misaligned with the needs of their audience. Instead of focusing on reliable information, the creators may push high-risk, unproven strategies or charge high prices for basic, readily available information to increase their own profits. Exactly what you just said. Exactly what you just said in the comment section, in the chat. Exactly. Cultivates misaligned incentives. Finance creators getting drug into the money pit of scamming and baiting you as the viewer and the audience out of your trust, your hard-earned money, time, and attention with clickbaity scams, videos, titles, thumbnails, and topics and strategies to try to synthesize financial advancement that isn't real, and in some cases can get you in trouble in order to make quick money, to get quick views, add revenue, to promote advertisement revenues, to run you through sales funnels, to buy their course, to buy their mentorship. I'm not going to do it. I don't give a damn how slow my channel grows. I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep putting legitimate advice and legitimate content out there and giving quality guidance. And I'm going to do much of it for free. I will continue to offer the opportunity to work with me paid, because I could do so much more for you if I work with you one-on-one and actually know your situation. But it's up to you to see the value in that. Along the way, this channel is going to continue to grow. I've got it to the monetization level. Y'all leave y'all super chats and super thanks to support genuine content that's not scamming y'all, that's not robbing your pockets, that's not misleading you with the content and abusing your ignorance to my financial gain. That's up to you to have the decency and the character to support with your dollars, with your viewership, with your comments, with your likes and super chats and super thanks. That's up to you to have the character to do that, because this is absolutely correct. This is absolutely correct. These types of conflicts amongst content creators that in some cases are putting out scammy content, BS content, falsified synthetic strategies to run you through sales funnels and mentorships to run up their pockets and create these large communities because there's so much money in it. It's up to y'all to vote with y'all dollar and vote with y'all attention. It destroys trust and discredits the field as a whole. And we're talking about the finance creator space, and particularly the Black finance creator space. Breaks consumer confidence. The public airing of grievances, of accusations of blackballing, and the claims of fraudulent practices erodes the trust that supporters have placed in these financial figures. When prominent figures in the community openly attack each other, it suggests that the entire movement may be unreliable. So where do we go? We're the community that needs it the most. Financial literacy is literally the backbone of what's missing in Black America today. And a chunk, not all, shout out to the real ones, but a chunk of the finance creators today are abusing the fact that we are financially in the dark, ignorant, and desperate for this information and desperate for financial advancement, abusing it. So where do we go from here? If the people at the very top representing their culture and representing the entire space are feuding, beefing, and discrediting each other, where do we go from here? And you were spot on about around D. White. I knew it was something about him. Oh, you talking about Derek Whitehead, P&R? Absolutely. It's no disrespect to him. When I shot that live stream the other day, I'm just being honest with you. I'm going to call it for what it is if I'm going to talk about it. The reality of it, like Derek Whitehead is an example, is nothing but an extent. His live streams, his videos that I've watched, and took the time out to watch a few. They're big, long, extensive sales ads. They're sales funnel. And I had somebody walk up to me in person, acknowledge me as a YouTube creator, by the way, in person, and then turn around in the midst of acknowledging me and being like, oh man, have you checked out Derek Whitehead? He helping him get to that bag, bro. You need to check him out. What the fuck, boy? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? First off, what bag did he help you get to? Because you're working at a grocery store, sir, and you're like 50. What are we talking about? Next off, no disrespect to nobody who's doing certain type of service work at whatever age. I'm just talking about the topic at hand. Hopefully y'all understand where I'm coming from. But if you're gonna come at somebody like that, because first off, again, that's like going to an up-and-coming rapper and acknowledging that he's an up-and-coming rapper, or going up to whatever, just using that as an example, a musician, whatever, and then being like, oh, you heard that new Drake album? Like, he really dropping them balls, bro. You need to check him out. Like, what the you want to acknowledge somebody coming up in a certain space and then turn around and try to point out somebody that you think they need to be more like, or they need to shift their content around? Anyway, absolutely, P&R. I've checked out the gentleman's content. Shout out to him and his success. Shout out to his movement. But actionable content, like I can click on your video, watch the video, and turn around and take that content and do something useful, I see nothing. Just saying. And it's another one who has extensive sales funnels, mentorships, selling events. I don't know about y'all, but check out the pattern. Where do we go from here? Lots of dangers with those other YouTubers. They seem to influence a mass audience to falsely increase their stock assessment while they synthesize value, while they cash out. Absolutely, big facts, enormous facts. While some of us genuine content creators are growing slower than ever, and either not getting monetized or barely making a living off of our content creation, not because the content ain't A1 and extremely useful and valuable and being put out for free, but because so many of us are too busy drawn to the BS. We only want to consume, too many of us only want to, not y'all, but too many of us only want to consume content that sells a dream. You're not going to watch any of my videos. Now, I put out actionable videos that can get you quick results in certain arenas. Don't get me wrong. If you follow some of my content, I can show you how to build credit in a very short window of time, repair credit in a short window of time, get access to personal and business finances in relatively short spurts of time. All day long, build high credit limits, access real estate funding, business funding, on and on. I've talked about investing in retirement accounts, whatever the case may be, areas I specialize in. But that having been said, it is nothing like the day trading millions that you're going to get overnight by watching this video. It's nothing like these stock picks that are going up 400% every day and get in right now. Or if you really want to get in, sign into my whatever the key. I can't think of the name right now. I'm drawing a blank bad tonight. But these back end platforms, right? Because they got blackout on EYL, for instance. It's like a back page Patreon. So join my Patreon if you want to get access to the real stock tips. Or, join this website or subscribe to this and pay for this program. Y'all see where this is going. And again, shout out to y'all for watching and taking your time out on this evening. And every day y'all watch my videos. For a real content creator that puts out actionable advice damn near every video, whether it's mindset, money, financial strategies, banking strategies, credit strategies, whatever, and does it for free. I haven't sold y'all a single funnel. One day I may get to the point where I'm doing events and I have a specific paid group I'm working with at scale because the channel is so large that I need to focus on the people who are serious. But y'all gonna know I'm genuine. Why? Because I'm going on 700 videos down there 3 years in. Organic videos, no matter where the hell I'm at. I'm filming them on the way to work. I'm filming them on my way back from work. I'm filming home or filming them in my office, I don't give a damn because I'm showing up for y'all on a daily basis. Most of these finance YouTubers sell self-help and lifestyle instead of giving game on what money is and how it works in the economy. Unbelievably true. Brandon Man 90, unbelievably true. Y'all are dropping some bombs in this chat right now tonight. I can't even get through the rest of my damn talking points because y'all are killing it in the chat right now. It's so true. Every single one of these three content creators that we're talking about, EYL, Wall Street Trapper, Aerostar Investments, shout out to their success, but they are literally, everything you just said in that chat is spot on. As much as they put out content creation, if you watch their videos long enough, if you listen to their content long enough, some of them put out good stuff. There's value there, but they selling the hell out of their lifestyle. They're selling the hell out of, self-help. They're selling the hell out of it. They're going to let you know the watches, chains, the cars, the lifestyle. They're going to drop their hints, even if they try to be subtle about it. I'm not doing bad for myself. I don't have millions of dollars yet. But I'm not doing bad for myself based on what an average American scenario, and definitely based on the average Black American, I could be repping and bragging too. I don't talk about that. Other than trying to give insight, I might talk about being over a certain net worth or whatever on my channel here and there. But I only do it from an educational point of view. I literally you can go back on my videos. You never hear me bragging about anything I got going on, even if it is worth bragging on. I only do it from an educational point of view to show and prove and give a little bit of receipts, and also to show and prove this is something I've done that works or can work for you. If you want to try it, test it, give you some motivation, guidance, something that you can put into practice. You are absolutely correct in the chat, Brandon, man. You are spot on with them. Y'all dropping some bombs into the night. So next talking points. It harms financial decision making, normalizes risky behavior, or normalizes risky advice. To generate excitement and attention, some financial influencers have been known to promote risky financial strategies like day trading and volatile investments rather than boring but more effective approaches to long-term investing like ETFs, for example. The conflicts draw attention to risky behavior. All of you have commented on that in the chat. What I just read, all of you, all three of you in particular that have left the comments that I just read, of the comments that have come in the chat, talked about this and landed on it spot on your own. Salute to every single one of y'all for already understanding that. I didn't even read that part yet or get into that talking point. Y'all nailed it. It talks about it right here. It literally draws attention to people who are trying to be sold a dream. And as you just stated, sold a lifestyle versus people who are out here winning. And I just told y'all, I spend money and go to these conferences and again, it's the obscure side of the finance world. We didn't even get to the gold and silver and resource sector investor talk conversation, the land investing, the boring real estate investing, not the hot, sexy, buy 15 rentals using this crazy hack strategy, turnkey, passive. Nah, we talking about the boring stuff, self-storage, land and lots. I'm going to these conferences. I'm talking with these people, shaking hands, sitting back, watching and learning. I'm dealing with them in my profession. I'm a business banker by trade. I have a FINRA investment license. I have a mortgage originator's license, life insurance license. I'm going to these events around life insurance and using those as financial assets and instruments, not just for life insurance, but as for active financial assets and instruments. These boring ass conversations with these really successful ass people. We're the only ones, for the most part, that are the most subject to this and fall for this the most. Y'all continue to leave y'all like, supports, and super chats and comments down below and in the video on the live stream. And if you're catching the replay, do the same thing. Leave y'all support. Exactly the problem for the community in period. It's an American problem. It's an American problem, but a Black American problem for sure. It's a struggle. We are so damn wrapped up in drama and entertainment. Like, it sucks. It sucks so bad because this is why we're on track for financial destruction. We're the first 1 or 2 generations to truly have relative freedom, relative access to the economy, relative fair access to financial information and resources. A lot of my live stream recently have been talking about the opportunities that are out there. And a lot of them coming, the videos and live streams coming, will be focused on all of the opportunities banks are offering with their funding, their grant funding, the money they're pouring into the racial wealth gap and closing it, the money they're pouring into real estate, like getting people into home ownership, the money they're pouring into supporting small businesses. I'm going to be covering these things in back-to-back live streams and videos. And that information is falling to the wayside, while the BS by these content creators has got them rising to the top. And this is why they end up imploding when they get there. This is why you have the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. This is why you have the discrediting and the conflict and the feuding and the beefing like street rappers amongst our prominent Black finance creators. Because half of this shit is disingenuous. Excuse me for cussing. Confuses novice investors. For those of you who may be new, novice means that new investors are new to it, right? Confuses novice investors. So those who cannot discern for themselves. It's basically what this is saying. This confuses those who cannot discern for themselves. The dispute can confuse and disorient novice investors who may not know who to trust. Just said that. Instead of receiving consistent, actionable advice, followers are presented with contradictory information and personal attacks, which can prevent them from starting their financial journey on the right foot. So it's destroying our youth, destroying those who are trying to rebuild their finances and their credit and deciding to go out and seek information. It's destroying it. It's destroying them. Because you get the ones you're going to go, when you go to YouTube and Instagram, the EYLs, the Wall Street Trappers, the J. Morris, Tulsa Real Estate Funds is what you're going to see. You're not going to see me. I'm not yet. I haven't cracked the code necessarily. My videos are doing better and better. My channel's growing from real ones like y'all, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. But it's not doing the numbers that the EYLs, Wall Street Trappers, the Aristotle Investments, the Jay Morrison, when he was popping, it's not doing those numbers. The other day trading gurus that y'all seeing and hearing about, the other finance creators that are on that wild BS, these overnight haddies, even the funding space is a junk space now. How many of y'all watch these other content creators in the credit in the finance and the credit and funding space, and all of the funnels and sales funnels and backstreet bullshit tactics and hacks they got going on? Same thing. We have been programmed to be this way, but some of us are not going for it. Exactly, like you, like some of y'all, the ones that are locked in on this live stream, like right now. Y'all are the real ones, and I'm not just saying that just because you're supporting me. It's the truth. The fact that you are taking the time out to be here on these live streams night after night when I do them, you're tuning into the videos because, for one, you're getting real value. You know I'm authentic. You've watched enough videos. You've watched me do this long enough. Time exposes all. Time exposes all. I am going on 700 videos in 2.5, going on 3 years. A lot of you have been around for hundreds of those videos, dozens of those videos. So you've been around long enough to know. You followed the strategies. You've been in the space long enough to discern real content, real financial advice, guidance, and education and perspective from the fake. So a lot of those of you, but you're on an island by yourself. That's why channels like mine and others are where they are. And the EYLs, the Wall Street Trappers, have 6- and 7-figure followings and enormous groups. They have 4, 5, and 6 figures of individuals paying for their mentorships and super chatting and paying for their comments. This is why. This is why. Even the Fresh and Fit scenarios, they dip into financial content from time to time. And I've seen they've done decent jobs covering the things that they cover. But the bulk of their channel is the drama and the BS. Regardless if their perspective is fair and healthy and educational, the content is centered around the BS. Their channels take off. DJ Academics, the rap media space, finance media, we can go all day. Channels take off. If I wanted my channel to do that, I can start making that content topics tomorrow. Watch what would happen to my channel. I can start doing that tomorrow. It's not that I don't have the intellectual capacity, the presentation skills, the deliverables. There's no issue there. I make a choice to make legitimate videos. Even when my titles are a little eccentric, they're still down to earth and rational. My thumbnails, down to earth and rational. It's intentional. I have a team that helps with my thumbnails and my edited videos. I can do what the hell I want. I have the intellectual capacity and the presentation skills to cover things the way I want to. I don't go this route by choice, regardless of how long it takes me to it took me to monetize. It took me to, build a certain income from these streams. I'm building a real business in real life anyway. One day I'll be coming to do events and mentor with you guys in person in real life, actually holding your hand and walking y'all, to accompany y'all on the way to y'all financial success and collaborating with y'all. That's where I'm going with this channel and this brand building. I want real ones like y'all here on my channel, and I'm willing to take my time building this channel because I don't want the credit plus experience. Somebody else who's a quality finance creator that has talked constantly about how his channel is packed with synthetic junk audience that are all about these BS schemes, and every time he puts out credible finance content or highlights banks and institutions and lenders that have great opportunities, they're getting scammed, and it ruins his brand and his name because he's sending hundreds and thousands of applicants that are doing fraud. There's a reason I don't put that content out. I'm not attracting that. I refuse. I don't want that. I'd rather one of y'all per video to come in that's real and do that constantly over time until I build up a strong enough following to continue to build my brand and my business in this arena. And y'all be real and I'm real and we're building something real, than to put up those fake videos and draw those kind of people in. I refuse. That's called morals and standards. So enough said. Enough said. That's what it is. I don't give a damn how long it takes. I know that I'm meant to do this. That's why I don't let up. I have people literally, listen, y'all. I have people literally, while the financial institution I work for, I'm like a private client banker, which is basically people with 6 and 7 figure networks. Business banker, I'm working with businesses from their inception over to 6 and 7 figures and occasionally 8 figures in revenues, working with them directly with their personal and their business finances. So everything I bring on this channel, everything that you're watching is something I'm helping people with in person every day. It's the real deal. I am regulated, monitored. Like I do this, I have to literally help people's finances grow, or my job is at stake. My career is at stake, my name and my brand. I do in-person speaking engagements. We talk about lifestyle promoting. I don't even put that on this channel. How many of y'all even knew that? Talking about repping and lifestyles. I do speaking engagements in person, like real events. And I'm not talking about ones I host myself. It's other ones that prominent, like the Black Chamber of Commerce in my city. Significant size nonprofit institutions that do financial education seminars. I'm there speaking. I'm there speaking. My entire integrity, my career is on the line, speaking and helping clients every single day. So when I bring y'all the content that I bring y'all, I am doing it in real life. I didn't read a book. I ain't take nobody's course. I didn't Google some stuff. I'm doing it every day. Y'all hear these funding videos where they like, oh, y'all need to tie in. I got this plug at such and such bank, this RM, this business banker. That's me. I'm the plug. They middlemaning y'all and charging y'all hundreds of dollars. I'm bringing it to you live and direct. Fancy that. Fancy that. They middlemaning y'all for hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into their courses and their mentorship programs just to turn around and turn you over to me. Crazy work. Crazy work. Brandon man said respect. You know that, brother. I always give people game so they do discover they got 700 videos of game they can learn from. Facts. Facts. And I salute that. 110%. 110%. For every single one of y'all that share these videos, I done got super chats, the super thanks, the various ways y'all support. I can't do nothing but respect and appreciate y'all. And look, my word to y'all is as I grow this channel and grow this brand and this part of my business, my goal is to come to y'all. When I start doing events and putting groups together, this channel is going to start putting memberships together. Y'all are going to be the prominent people that I'm talking about because y'all know that I'm solid and I know that y'all solid. Y'all have seen me show up and put real content and advice out that has helped advance y'all and put quality perspective, advice, and guidance for y'all. And I've seen y'all show up and spend y'all time, money, and attention with me. So this is what this is about. Not to go on this long rampage about why I'm great as a content creator and why to follow me. The real recognizes real, obviously. But this is the problem with what's going on with EYL, Wall Street Trapper, Aristotle Investments, Jay Morrison, Dr. Umar, and the stuff going on with all that. This is the problem. This is the problem. We don't have time for this. I go over the financial statistics in my videos and my live streams a lot. The statistics of how many of us are underbanked, the statistics of how low our FICO scores are compared to our counterparts, the home ownership statistics, how far behind we are, the business statistics, the business lending declines, all of these statistics going on in Black America, the financial education gap, the ratios that aren't even factored in. There's no statistics that talk about how many of us get our accounts closed at banks and get our information passed off the check system so we can no longer get bank accounts. And as somebody said earlier in this chat, we're forced to check cash in places, paying all that money for poor financial services. Nobody even follows those. There's not even statistics out on that. I watch it every day because I'm a banker. I watch people's accounts get closed. I watch people get scammed out of their money by hundreds and thousands of dollars. I'm watching our elderly get abused by this scam community going on with these phone calls and these fake text messages, wiring their money off, giving their debit cards and account numbers away. And they coming to me after the fact, their life savings gone and the money they had is gone. Like I can't even talk about it without getting upset, but like I'm watching this happen. We can't even protect our elderly, but we watching this BS go on with the EYLs and the beefs and the drama. We don't have the financial literacy and the focus to protect our elderly, to protect our women, our family, our children from falling from this BS, from discerning from the fake news and the fake financial content and the fake financial tactics and strategies. I watch people come in getting scammed on crypto mentorship groups. I watched a young man threatening to kill somebody because he got scammed out of $19,000 through Zelle on a crypto scam. Works 2 jobs, saving his money, and fell for a crypto scam and wired $19,000 to somebody in California that he's never met in person. But EYL, Wall Street Trapper, Aristotle Investments, all multi-millionaires are beefing over some dumb shit. How do you have time if you're a finance creator? I would argue that we are some of the most important people on the internet. If I lay out the things that I laid out for y'all just now, all of the things going wrong and the challenges for Americans as a whole, but especially for Black and Brown America. How do we have time to beef? If y'all got a problem with each other, sue each other behind the scenes. Sue each other behind the scenes. Y'all got the money? If y'all got problems, cease and desist letters behind the scenes. Why is this playing out on the internet in front of everybody? Because y'all want clicks. Y'all want hype. Y'all know what y'all doing. There's no way you're that smart, that advanced, that much money, that much success. EYL comes from my background, banking, finance, financial advisors. Y'all come from a regulated background. I understand we're human. I'm never telling you I'm not a pacifist, and I'm never telling you I'm not going to have friction with anybody at some point, maybe, whatever the case may be. I don't even come from a peaceful background, to tell you the truth. I've made a huge conversion in my life to the where I am today as a professional and an upstanding citizen. And I'm not trying to brag or rep about anything on the other side of the spectrum, but I'm being honest with you for a few minutes on this live stream. I'm just being honest with you for a few minutes. I'm not trying to sound like a goody two-shoes, a pacifist, a utopianism. I'm not trying to promote any of that. Sometimes there's room for conflict. To be honest, at times there's room for violence. It's not going to be a peaceful world all the time. Nature in itself is violent. But at the end of the day, goddammit, we are grown-ass individuals. And for those of us that are at the creme de la creme of the media space in any capacity, but especially the finance space where we need it so badly, there's not enough credible versions of us out there. So y'all need us. Respectfully speaking, y'all need us to show up and put out real content and stay focused and stay on track. Y'all don't need our personal beefs. Y'all don't need me walking around in my Gucci slippers with my Dolce & Gabbana belt and my glasses and my shades, talking about this big check and showing off my vacation. I take nice vacations. Then every now and then I put some pictures up. Like our last pictures probably be like been X amount of months ago. I was in DC. I took a nice trip. I was at a hella nice hotel. Do y'all see me wasting y'all time with long live streams and videos and I'm supposed to be putting out educational content talking about my vacations? No, but you'll see me put out a finance content video around how you can get there through credit strategies and banking strategies, because I'm going to show up for y'all and not get distracted with the BS. No matter how successful I become, I already predestined that I'm going to be extra successful over time. I know where I've already come from. I had a negative net worth not just 8 or 9 years ago. 6 figures. Negative net worth. I didn't flip that 6 figures on the positive side the other way in less than 10 years. And I'm helping people do these types of strategies and come up and make these kind of 6 and 7 figure moves with their money, fight inflation, build their credit, rebuild their credit every day for a living. And I'm bringing it to you on this channel. Brandon, man, cool part is the money that they make is not even from what they teach. All the money comes from selling courses that repeat basic stuff. I might as well let y'all run a live stream. I need to shut up and let y'all run a live stream. Y'all got it in the chat. Y'all got it. That's the ice cold part about it. Brandon, man, and everybody on here that's still here. That's the ice cold part about it. You just dropped the mic. I might earn $10 on a video, but it's from real work. I didn't sell one dream. I didn't bait and hook not one person. I might only get one super chat or one super thanks on a video that I know is worth, if somebody uses it, hundreds or thousands of dollars in value. These individuals, you are absolutely correct. These individuals have built these platforms and grown their channel. And I'm going to prove it to you why you're right. If you ever watch EYL in particular, you see them occasionally griping about how their real authentic finance related videos, business building videos, stock pick videos get a fraction of the viewership of the drama, get a fraction of viewership of the lifestyle videos, a fraction of the viewership around the clickbait videos. They say it themselves. What does that mean? Exactly what you just put in the chat. It means that the money they're making, the videos that are hitting the 6 and 7 figure mark, upper 5, 6 and 7 figure mark, when they're doing the videos about, you know, how to buy a home or the basic stock investing stuff, or when they're doing how to qualify for grant videos, and they put out good topics from time to time or even often. Those videos, 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 15,000 views on a subscriber base that's in the upper 6 figures or 7 figures. Let them put out some BS. Let them interview the next hottest rapper and talk about their lifestyle and their investment stuff. 600,000 views, 300,000 views. They making all their ad revenue and all of these super monies. And exactly. They say it themselves. It's not us. It's not you just saying that. It's not me corroborating that. They say it themselves. Go watch their channel. They complain about it themselves. When they put out real quality, boring financial literacy, the real stuff, the videos get a fraction of the views based on the size of their viewership and their subscribers. They got 7 figures in views on that channel a month, I'm sure, 8 figures of views. And they'll get a 5,000 view, 7,000, 10,000, 15,000 view video on real authentic finance content and turn around and get 100,000, 200,000, million views, whatever, on some BS. So you spot on. The nuts and bolts to some of this conflict between these individuals is exactly what we're covering right now. The state of America for the everyday person is not good financially. The state of Black America on the average case basis is even worse. For those of us that are in the finance creator space, we are basically making a silent or a prominent outspoken commitment to moving the needle for as many of you that take the time out to consume the content and learn and advance yourself. We can't make y'all come to us and get this content, get this wisdom, get this knowledge. But for those of you who are doing what you're doing tonight and taking the time out to do so, and then turning around and supporting with likes and viewership and watch hours and sharing, super thanks, super chat, actually leaving tips on the video, actually leaving monetary value, knowing that sometimes we put these videos out for an hour plus at a time, an hour plus making these videos and dedicated times researching topics and doing it for free sometimes, many times. My channel just got monetized this year. I had been already 400-500 videos in, 600 videos in, I don't know. My shit just got monetized this year. I've been doing this. My first video didn't take off. My first 5 videos didn't take off. My first 100 videos didn't take off. My first 200 videos didn't take off. I've been putting out stuff that if people use can make hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands of dollars or more if they use the strategies I put out in my videos. And that's a fact. Anybody can fact check and question me. Pick a video out while I'm putting out advice and challenge me on it. I dare you. I know it because I do it with my clients in person. I do it with them in person. Where do you think the content's coming from? Actionable client experiences in most cases, or my own. And I didn't make a penny off of most of those videos. Even the ones since I've been monetized today sometimes don't make a dime. I'm still showing up. I'm an hour plus on this live stream right now on a big Wednesday night like I ain't been working all day, taking care of my kids, etc. So you are spot on. This is why it is important that we have integrity. If any creator that is in an educational type capacity, a leadership capacity around educating people around something of value, but especially the finance space where people need us the most, health and wellness, where people need us the most. If y'all checking out my Instagram, I'm tipping into my fitness side of things. You're starting to slowly start to see me with fitness videos. Not that I'm about to convert into a fitness creator on y'all, but it's because it's all connected. I'm going to continue to be a finance creator because there's so much value and so much work to be done in that space, in person and online. But I am definitely tapping into the other dimensions. First off, for y'all to understand who, by character, who I am and what I'm about. I'm not just solid in this capacity. I strive to be the best in every arena, far from perfect. I'm not about to sit here and tell you I don't have no skeletons in my closet. But who doesn't? But I take care of my body. I'm invested in my finances and I advance myself and I'm showing the results of that slowly but surely as inspiration and as guidance. Our fellow content creators that have gotten to these levels of the EYLs, Wall Street Trapper, Aristotle Investments, so on and so forth, have gotten lost in a lot of cases. They're so far up in the food chain. I watch their content and I'm listening to the financial advice and the guidance and I'm like, I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. I can get value from what you're talking about, but I'm a goddamn I'm a 10 plus, 12 plus year financial professional veteran. I got the same licenses that y'all come from. So I can understand the stock conversations y'all are saying, the picks that y'all have. I understand some of the things y'all are talking about, the legitimate things y'all covering, the real estate advice and videos, the business funding grant plays and all of that. I'm tied into all of that. But they're so far, they've gotten to a point where they're so disconnected from what the average, as one of y'all said earlier in the chat, most of these people can't manage a bank account. What the hell are we talking about day trading for? What are we talking about? I don't even get into certain levels of content. That's why I'm saving for my memberships. The deeper level of banking strategies and lending strategies and real estate financial strategies and business funding strategies and other things that I have to cover. You know, in retirement accounts, all of these different things on life insurance strategies. Y'all don't even hear me cover that topic. How to use life insurance as a supportive asset, how to use it to borrow against, and the bank on yourself that y'all have heard about. I know all y'all didn't heard about it. I got a license in that background. I've been had those policies. I've been had life insurance policies I've been using for the cash value and then borrowing off of it to invest in my businesses and all of that. I've been doing that for years. I'm not lying. I'm not repping. I don't even talk about that on this channel. Why? Because the average of my audience, that's not where y'all at. I'm laying it out in sequential order. My videos are teaching you basic personal finance, advanced basic personal finance, banking relationship mastery. I can make 1,000 videos on just how to navigate banking relationships and get the value out of that first. Optimize your own money before you go out and try to get somebody else's. That's what I do on this channel. Holding you accountable with the content so you don't feel small because you don't understand this, right, and the third. No, I'm going to come get you. We're going to get to the $1 million strategies, the multi-million-dollar investment strategies and business strategies and banking strategies and life insurance strategies. But let's learn how to manage a bank account. Let's learn how to manage a business bank account, how to set it up, how to set up payment solutions for it so we can show proper paperwork to access quality SBA funding. Let's talk about how to manage our bank account and use our banking relationships to demonstrate prudence so the bank feels comfortable lending us their money to deploy into assets and opportunities. Let's learn those things. You know how I know that y'all need to learn it? Because the statistics and my daily encounter with clientele teaches me that every day. They sold out. I mean, we can sugarcoat it all day, but that seems to be what it is for the most part. And with that kind of money and prominence, I'm sure it's hard not to do. That's where it comes in for you guys and the people around us as viewers to understand who we supporting and who we putting our money behind. They're rich off of our viewership, our support, and us. And not us per se, because we know better, but by us. Their wealth is predicated on the value or the perceived value that they provide the viewership. Nothing else they're making money off of other than their personal investments is happening without the audience. Everything else is the audience. Sponsorships, watch hours, like the YouTube ad revenue and all the different ways, the supers, all of the money that they're making is us. We have to vote with our dollars and our attention span. I shot a video a couple months ago, and it's not the sexiest topic, talking about how important protecting your mindset and your attention is. We all fighting that battle. So yeah, of course they're gonna sell out. Because if I can go out here and just entertain y'all with a bunch of BS and occasionally sprinkle in some real value and real content here and there, and I'm gonna run up these big ass bags and create these big platforms and put myself in a position for these big business ventures and opportunities and to personally advance my damn self and look like I'm helping the community, or at one point was helping the community, but deviated from that now, and now I'm just running up bags and all my content. Why not? Y'all ain't holding me accountable for it as the audience and the viewers for the most part. Y'all keep watching. Y'all keep putting y'all money into it and y'all attention. Y'all keep letting me sell y'all off to the next hottest sponsor. Why not? Charleston White. Whew, that's a whole nother conversation. You trying to have us on here for 2 or 3 hours, PNR Connected. You trying to have us on here for 2 or 3 hours, man, talking about Charleston White. We start getting into the weeds of some of these media personalities for real. We'll be on here all night, man. I don't talk about it on this channel. This is the first live stream, first video that I've done this. But y'all feel free to leave y'all thoughts on that in the chats down below. You're watching the replay and you made it this far in. Leave your thoughts and comments on that. Do y'all have any final thoughts or questions or feedback around this topic? Do y'all have any final questions, thoughts, or feedback around productive things like I just described them? Apparently I did, right? Apparently I did. He made a whole career out of it. A whole career. You got to tilt your hat to Buddy. I mean, he literally trolls for a living. And supposedly it's supposed to be this substantive, principled individual in a certain way. And some things he say he be talking some game, but apparently I just hit the nail on the head, PNR Connected Z. But listen, for my real pioneers, before we wrap this up, because it's getting late, do y'all have any legitimate final thoughts, questions around the topic? Anything from me topic-wise that I'm covering y'all want more of? Financial literacy. I'm going to do these things anyway, but I specifically would like to hear financial literacy, personal business credit, banking relationship mastery, accessing funding, business, whatever around these arenas that I do specialize in. You won't hear me talk about day trading. You won't hear me talk about crypto. These things I don't specialize in or I don't have interest in. So the things that I specialize in, y'all know the topics that I cover on this channel. Let me know before y'all roll out, before we wrap up, is there anything y'all want me to cover more of that's not already in the pipeline? I'm going to be diving deeper on financial literacy. I'm going to be diving deeper on the financial programs that banks are rolling out in mass that can put money in your pockets towards home ownership, real estate ownership, business ownership. I'm going to be diving deep into these things, covering individual banking institutions at scale. So all of that's coming already. But I just want to know from y'all before I wrap this up, you know, do y'all need anything else from me or content wise? Do y'all have any additional thoughts around what's going on in this media space on the topic that we were covering? Let me know in the chat before y'all sign out, you know, what y'all final thoughts are. And replay the same thing. If you're catching the replay, would be down to make a video. Would you be down to make a video on where exactly most Black people need to start with their finances? Yo, that is a big one. Let me see if I can screenshot that. Because you know what, my man? That's assuming you haven't made that yet. I have indirectly made videos around that, Brandon, man. But for you, because I think you've also asked me about another topic, and I'm pretty sure I covered it. You let me know if I missed it. But you had another really good topic in question in the previous live stream, and it was good as well. But this one, I just took a screenshot, and I got you. I'm gonna work on that in the moderately near future. I'm already weeks ahead on my video. Y'all look on my channel, y'all see I've been working. I'm already weeks ahead. I got content loaded up for October, but I got you, Brandon, man. I already took a screenshot. I'm gonna work on that in the near. Just stay connected, stay tied in and locked in. I got you, and I'm probably gonna do my best to try to even include you on the thumbnail, like I always do when y'all put y'all quality feedback in, or topics, video topics in. So I got you on that. That's a good one. And again, anything else specifically besides that y'all want me to cover? I have some hurdles to get through, but I'm going to get with you. APNR, you've been around for so long and so tied in. Definitely feel free to touch base with me to whatever extent I can assist you. And I will take some time out. You know, if it's an area expert that I specialize in, that you know that I cover already, that you personally want to talk, respect to your privacy and anonymity. I won't put nothing out you don't want me to put out. But you know, I shot a whole video that actually did well on another comment or question you had around getting denied at a bank, not using your credit enough. Y'all, for that's been a real ones, you know, that's been tied in, that I've seen y'all, and I know who y'all are, because y'all are basically bookmarked on my channel. Because y'all constantly supporting, constantly leaving comments, constantly showing your viewership. I got y'all to the best of my ability. I'm not a charity or a nonprofit, but to whatever extent I can assist, I will do my genuine best to do so. And if it gets to the point where it's paid work, I will have that conversation up front. But I will definitely help y'all for free as far as I can, because y'all been solid. Y'all been solid. So I definitely, Brandon Man 90, I got you on that. Where Black people should start with their finances. I'm going to do that because honestly, funny enough, I've been sitting in the background for months on a financial orders of operation for Black America video. I just been really trying to get so much other content out, but apparently it's getting time where I need to put a concise video, and I might even get that one like edited and polished for y'all. So if not, I'm going to find a way to shoot that video for you relatively soon and put you in on that one and actually get you a shout out on that one, Brandon, man. PNR, let me know when you're ready. If you want to talk about it like publicly out, comments and chat, or if you want to reach out to me, probably just comment to me and I'll get you some contact info. Yeah, that would be fire for sure. I got y'all on that for sure. Again, I'm doing that all day. As a banker, I'm generally working with that all day. Yeah, I know what you meant, Brandon, man. Fire, I got you. I'm doing that all day, helping people with the inception of their finances all the way up to people who are well off, literally from their basic personal checking accounts and stuff all the way up to retirement, life savings investments. I'm helping them with it. So if I can definitely walk you through that journey, excuse me, as usual. Thanks. Of course, my guy, y'all got that. Any final requests or thoughts, y'all? I'm taking a few seconds, a few minutes. You know, y'all be open. Y'all can see I'm genuine and authentic. I really am here to help y'all. I am a business. I am for profit in a brand, but I'm doing good while doing good. So I genuinely want to help y'all. If y'all have any real questions, any videos I've shot recently that y'all need some additional breakdown on, let me know. Y'all comment on these videos, comment on the replay of this video. If y'all don't do me a favor before y'all leave, come back once this is uploaded and comment on the actual replay of the video as well. Brandon, that topic, comment that as well on the replay of the video so I can pin that as well. Y'all continue to leave y'all support on a replay of the video when y'all get an opportunity. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get some rest tonight and get in for the night. I'm going to do the same thing. Of course, the next live stream is going to be Sunday. Should be Sunday. Y'all be looking out for that. I'm doing a better job of letting y'all know in advance, but it's pretty much Wednesdays and Sundays for y'all, so y'all know. And then I got my regular pre-recorded videos coming out throughout the week as well. So I appreciate every single one of y'all that tuned in and stayed locked in all this time. Y'all some real soldiers, like for real. Y'all some real ones. Thank y'all, everybody on the replay that happened to stick through. Shout out to y'all. All the super thanks, the likes, the support. To all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. I appreciate every single one of you. I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.